look right here. Millie, look right here. Millie, look right here. Look right there. What do you see? Do you see you? Millie, look right here. Oh, you see your mama. You see mama going down the hall, don't you? You see mama going down the hall? Keelan hootin'. Mr. Michael up church. Nope, can't get on my desk. Ray Iddings in the house. John Kingsley. Well, we have jumped right by our number that I always start with, which is 25. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Got Millie in here hanging out with me for a minute until she gets to acting up. Then I'll send her down the hallway. Miss Wanda, how are you? Oh, awesome, Ray. I got Millie, yes. She's being a Facebook Live star. She's actually acting pretty well, too.
What are you doing?
She sees her mama, that's for sure. That's for sure. You see your mama?
What are you doing?
Huh? Dave Kusky. Disco Dave in the house. You want to go with mama so daddy can start yakking? Huh? You want to go with mama?
No, not really. I was just...
Not really here. Go with mama.
I'm trying to pack.
She's coming your way.
Come on, dogs.
All right, guys. It's December. I ain't really got a lot of racing to talk about, but I did post earlier, that I was going to do this. I'm a day late. We were helping Lee, my sister Lee, move some furniture. She had got some work done at her house, had to move some furniture around. But anyway, I asked you guys to post some questions, and I'm going to answer those, and then I'll come back and see what you guys have got posted on here. Anyway, Patty Moran, what do you buy the pups for Christmas? Well, to be honest with you, I'm sure Donna is going to buy them something. But the truth is, we buy them stuff quite a bit. That's for sure. They are spoiled. They run our house. They run how we travel. They run everything that you can imagine. Dogs are awesome. We love them, obviously. And so I don't know what the pups are getting for Christmas, but it's pretty much Christmas for them all the time. That's for sure. Alan Tate, I will come back to your question. I'm going to finish these that were sent in earlier. Y'all don't let me forget that. So the next question is from Cole Pritchett. Actually, it's not a question. It was good to see you last week. Definitely had a blast at the PRI show. It was awesome seeing you too. Jack Clover says, tell Mike he's ready for the crew next year. I tell you what, our crew is looking good, y'all. We're not in amongst all the craziness that we had last year. So that, one of those things where we had to start from scratch. We're not doing that this year, so we are in great shape crew-wise. Diana Reiser, since you raced in both IHRA and NHRA, what has been the biggest difference that you've noticed? Well, the biggest difference in IHRA and NHRA for me from the driver's seat, to be honest with you, it was no different. It was top fuel cars. The rules were a little more restrictive in the IHRA. And if your question is, how did we win all the time? It's just kind of a matter of that Mike Klober had an amazing combination, and we had the proper sponsorship, and we probably were one of the better funded teams, during the IHRA days with Warner Enterprises. We had a heck of a run, and the funding wise was awesome because we only ran usually 10 to 12 races a season. So that made your budget so much easier to deal with, not running 24 races. So that's kind of was the biggest differences versus now. We run 24 races, and it's just hard to keep up with, the big factory teams, as I always like to call them. We're not a factory team. But for me, I get to stomp on the loud pedal of a top fuel car. I don't care. IHRA, NHRA, I love my job. I love what I got to do over there. And I love what I do right now. That's for sure. Ray Iddings 6 times in a row. Yes, sir, that it was. Next question from Rob Abel. Did you have a personal relationship with the late Bill Simpson? I don't know if y'all all know this or not, but Bill Simpson, who was definitely an innovator, when it comes to safety, especially the fire suit. Passed away this week, so I did not know Mr. Bill Simpson, did not have a personal relationship with him, but certainly very appreciative of everything that he did for making our sport and every other kind of motorsport safer. He was definitely a... Are you telling me she's still over here?
She just come in here.
Millie, come back over here. Mr. Bill Simpson was definitely an innovator and a heck of a motorsports icon. You know, it was a big loss to the sport in general. Next question is from Leslie Stout Lauer. Sorry if I said that wrong. When do you start Christmas shopping, and who does Donna make you buy for? Well, we are probably a little different in this household than most households in the United States and across the world, partially. To be honest with you, we buy for 6 nieces and nephews. We look at it at our house kind of as, you know, we are definitely a Christian family, and, you know, we don't think Christmas is about Santa Claus. Not saying that we don't, you know, buy gifts. Don and I haven't bought gifts for each other in years, and, you know, we did buy gifts for the boys, but the boys are grown and the kids are little, so the little ones are the ones we buy for. And Donna's actually standing over. How long has it been since you and I bought each other Christmas presents?
Probably over 20 years.
Probably over 20 years, exactly. I mean,
It's silly.
I agree. You know, it's just crazy. You know, we've got so many friends we know that kind of get themselves in debt over Christmas, and it's just sad. You know, Christmas is not about Santa Claus and Christmas presents. And I'm not trying to get on a soapbox here, but we love each other year round, and, you know, we definitely just don't do the Christmas present thing. We do for the kids, and like I said, that amounts to 6 nieces and nephews, and I'm right on that, right? 6 nieces and nephews?
And one friend, one adopted.
Well, it's actually 2. It's actually 2. We buy for 2 other little ones that we think the world of, and
in the racing family.
in the racing world, and they're little guys. So anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody, though. I don't want to sound like I'm being a Scrooge. I'm not, but that's just kind of how we do it around here. The next question, what do I like to do in the off season? Holy moly. Well, the off season this year, let's just back up a little bit. I've told this story, and I hope I didn't tell it on here last week when I had Jeff Lutz on, but I'm going to back all the way up to Las Vegas. So we raced the Vegas race, left Vegas, did the SEMA show, left the SEMA show, I think I flew home for almost 2 days, then flew back to Pomona, did the NHRA banquet, left the banquet and went to Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to tie this in with Michael Upchurch's question, because last week I didn't even talk about Saudi Arabia. I talked about Dentley and everything with Jeff Lutz last week, and so I really didn't talk about what happened and what Saudi Arabia was all about. So Michael is asking, what's my biggest takeaway from Saudi Arabia? So Saudi Arabia, we went there. I was invited by Mike Copeland, owner of Arrington Performance and Diversified Creations, and we actually shipped our Top Fuel show car to Saudi Arabia. And from there, you know, I flew over with David Freiberger and Steve Cole, who works on our team. And it was one of those trips where, you know, I Googled a whole lot. I've been to Iraq. I went to Iraq in 2008 while there was still fighting going on, actually. But it was an MWR trip when I went there. So obviously I was protected by our Armed Services Department. And so I Googled a lot about going to Saudi Arabia and read a lot of things that you should and should not do. One of them, long sleeve shirts, you know, don't look ladies in the eye. And, you know, also saw, you know, there's beheadings every Friday, and Westerners can sit up front to watch that. So we get there. It was not bad at all. I mean, the hotel they put us in was incredible. We got there at night. Next morning we get up. We actually went to a mall, and it was a mall just exactly like at home. I mean, you know, walked in the door and it was just exactly like a normal mall. I'm not a shopping kind of person. I just talked about that with Christmas, actually. But Did not find anything weird about that. Did have on the long sleeve shirt. If y'all go and watch on my YouTube channel, I put up a couple videos of going to Saudi Arabia and what that was like. But I ended up talking to a guy that was from there, spoke very good English, and I asked all those questions, you know, and he said that their country is changing rapidly, and it has over the last 2 years. And women can now drive. You know, I asked him about being at the show and having ladies come up and want pictures made with their children with the race car. And it was hard not to look a lady in the eye, so I asked him that, and he told me that if a lady comes up and asks you to take a photo and you're bending down to take a photo with a child, she knows that she's going to look you in the eye. So, you know, it was not a big deal. That guy told me that if there's a lady that does not want to be looked at in the eye, then she's not going to put herself in that position. And, you know, I even asked about some of the ladies wore, you know, a thing where you could only see their eyes and they were covered, you know, ear to ear. There were some ladies that wore nothing on their face. There were some ladies that had a thing that covered their entire face. I asked, you know, what is that? And he said basically what that amounted to was, you know, it's according to how far along that they follow their religion, you know, and that's kind of what that is. But he said their country's changing a lot. I asked him about the long sleeve t-shirts, and he's like, not true. You don't have to wear a long sleeve t-shirt, or you don't have to have your arms covered, I guess is really not a long sleeve t-shirt. But so, and then he said, you probably heard that we cut people's heads off every Friday. And I said, yeah, I sure have. I saw that online, you know. And he's like, they do have beheadings. And his next thing he said was, well, do y'all not, you know, put people in the electric chair? Well, yeah, we do. And he said, well, we do behead people, but it's not every Friday, but it does happen every now and then. And he said they just happen to do it in public, and it's no different than us putting someone in the electric chair or whatever we do for capital punishment, you know. So my takeaway from there, long answer to your question there, Michael, is that I would go back. I don't think it is nearly as scary as I probably thought that it was, to be honest with you. You know, it was pretty cool. You know, we found an awesome racetrack. You know, again, y'all go check out that video that I put up, and you'll kind of see, you know, exactly what was going on. I'm trying to find if there was any other questions. I'm not ignoring y'all. I think I covered most of the questions there. I'm going to scroll back. I remember I saw some questions, actually. I'm backing up. I saw a good question. I definitely want to answer it. Kind of a gossip question, sort of, kind of. All right. Alan Tate, is Antron Brown joining Steve Torrance? I have heard that. I've actually heard that several times, but I do not think that is true. Talked to Antron at the banquet. I think nothing's really changing there. You know, he's going to still be at DSR, but we have heard that for quite a while. You know, is Antron joining Steve Torrance? I don't think that is happening. I'm scrolling back to see if there's any other questions. I could keep rambling. Oh, I got somebody under my feet here. Come here. Somebody came back. She wants to come see y'all. She is nosy, y'all, but she's easier to put in your lap right now than Iggy is, that's for sure. So, Paul's, it was nice to see you at the PRI show as well. Mr. Gene Sweat's watching. I got to tell y'all, I laughed because Gene Sweat was working on a Mopar, and he is very much a Chevrolet guy. That is for sure. Stephen Ferro, have you ever thought about putting together a match race Top Fuel car? Would love to have you come run it sometimes at Brainerd Motorsports Park in Ringgold, Georgia. Well, to be honest with you, we did a match race. We did 2 match races last year. We did it one at US 131 in Michigan, and we also did Budds Creek, Maryland. So match race car is not a problem. We don't have a spare car. We match race our real car. And I have driven a Top Fuel car at Brainerd Optimist is what I know that track is. Brainerd Optimist. I drove there early in my career, I drove Donnie Holbrook's Top Fuel car there a couple times. The right lane merges into the left. At the time it did. This was a long time ago, y'all. I also drove an A-Fuel dragster at that racetrack. That was pretty cool. And I ran, man, I don't know how many times, but I definitely had a lot of fun racing there. We did it. You know, we weren't match racing, but we made some runs. And I want to think I ran a race. I can't remember what they called it, but we raced the A-Fuel dragster. It was like a heads-up race deal that we did. And that was a lot of fun. The track was probably not quite long enough for how fast we were going, what we were doing, but I definitely enjoyed it. I love racing, and who knows? You know, I know we're already trying to lay out our match race schedule for this upcoming year, and I do not know what that is yet, but it is definitely something that I really enjoy doing. Well, guys, I didn't have a whole lot else. I'm just scrolling. I'm actually looking on my computer now in front of me here because I finally figured out I can do that. My ear is getting ate up. And see if there's anything else. A lot of Merry Christmas, and I appreciate that. Mr. Eric Malone is watching, Fastest Cars in the Dirty South. So I met those guys. They were headed out of PRI. I was at the Larice Motorsports booth. And I'm going to tell y'all, I have the Motor Trend app. I watch all the shows that I can. But y'all go check that show out. Fastest Cars in the Dirty South. I think it's coming on now every week, you know, on Discovery. I guess it is. I don't want to lie about it, but I've watched every episode on the Motor Trend app, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Y'all go check that show out. Mr. Eric Malone. Those guys are racing like at Jackson Dragway and around home here. Jackson Dragway being the first drag strip that I ever drove a race car down. Y'all go check that show out. It is awesome. I really, really enjoy watching it. Highly recommend it. Definitely recommend that show. And I see Mr. Gene Sweat is said the Duster he's working on is pretty cool, except the color is pink. Hey, if it's fast, it doesn't matter what color it is. It's cool. Anyway, guys, I kind of a short one tonight. Didn't have a whole lot to talk about, but I just kind of wanted to touch base. I did miss doing this last night, but I did have a blast in Saudi Arabia. That was a long, crazy trip, and I see that Millie's got somebody's attention. Because she wants down, y'all. In other words, Donna's on the other side of the computer here, and she sees her mama. Yes, Jeff Foster, preseason testing. I don't know if I can talk about that. Can I talk about that? Preseason testing is going to be awesome. And if y'all know Jeff Foster, you may know that he is definitely excited about preseason testing. But we are getting ready. I'm actually going to the race shop tomorrow. We are having our Christmas party, which is always a blast. Me, Iggy, Donna, Millie, we are headed up there. Go have a little fun. Jeff, are you saying I can talk about that? Is that what you're saying? I know I got an email, but I didn't know if it was like public knowledge. I'm now stalling to wait on Jeff to answer me here about preseason testing. But I will head up to the race shop for Christmas party tomorrow, and then from there... All right, Jeff says I can, so I can now talk about it. So everybody, Jeff Foster manages... Oh, all right, I'm going to say one more quick thing. Mr. Eric Malone is telling me Motor Trend TV tonight, 9 p.m. Y'all tune in, Fastest Cars in the Dirty South. You guys will love that show. It's awesome. Most of it filmed right at Jackson Dragway, right here in Jackson, Tennessee. A group of guys that are from my area, and basically it's grudge racing on the racetrack, and it is absolutely awesome. They go to a rival group, and they pick out their slowest cars, and they fix it up. They come back and race the other guy with their fast car, and if they beat them, they get to keep the car, and if they don't, they have to give the car back. It is an absolute awesome show. I've watched every episode because I've got the Motor Trend app, but it is on 9 o'clock tonight. He said, y'all go check that out. Now, back to Mr. Jeff Foster and testing. So for the last few years, the PRO organization, which is the Professional Racer Organization, we do a preseason testing, and it has been in Phoenix. But this year we are going to be in Vegas. Like I say, my longtime friend Jeff Foster manages the track there. It will be awesome. That's where we're going to go testing. I do not remember the dates. It's typically somewhere around Super Bowl weekend. The email's on my phone, and I'm filming with my phone, so I can't go look at it right now. But we will be in Vegas testing this year, y'all, which is awesome. I love going hanging out. Typically we have one day that is open to the public for testing, and I cannot wait to go to Vegas and stomp on that loud pedal in 2020. Can y'all believe that? 10 years. Like about 365 days ago, 10 years ago, we were all worried about Y2K and is our computers going to work? Are the lights going to go off? Or is our cars going to run? You know, going from 1999 to 2000. That is crazy. That's already been 10 years. That is nuts. Anyway, I have rambled on, and I always enjoy. All right, I got to answer one more question. Michael Rutherford, why don't you do testing in Memphis? To be honest with you, it's just hard to test without the same people prepping the track that we're racing on. And for as easy as it would be and as close as it is to the house for all of us, we don't race there, you know, and that's why, you know, I missed that track. Obviously, you know, it's 20, 30 minutes from here for me, but we will go to Vegas. The track will be prepped just like it will be when we go back there and race. And so that's why we try to test where we're racing it, even though we're not racing that weekend. We will be back there in just a short few weeks, basically, and we'll be going 4 wide there. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. I see a lot of people just signing up, and the numbers are jumping right up. But coming up on having been on here close to 30 minutes, you guys are awesome. And I will talk to you guys next week. Everybody, hang in there. Have a good night. Have a good week. And I hope everybody is getting ready for Christmas. See you guys.